Welcome, Dan Houston, to the podcast.
You fucking stole it. Everybody, for context for everybody, right before we were doing this, it was playing around with the little emoji thing in his phone because we thought it was so entertaining. And I thought he was going to make a Dan Houston joke when all the rockets came up. And then we were dead silent for about 10 seconds while the recording started. And the lady spoke. And then the first thing I see is these fucking rockets.
Well, if you want to whine about it.
Uh, we're doing different this time. This time, instead of being hungover, Ant is going to drink while we do it.
Well, I'm just so comfortable because I got wine and chocolate after finishing top two. It's a beautiful place to be. Unlike the Crows fans who are just whining.
We always got to put a Crows fan one. Crows abuse in the first 2 minutes of the podcast has to be the way.
Is there a reaction for that?
While you try and find a reaction for the Crows thing, I do not have anything. I have a water. This episode is sponsored by Panadol. Thank you to my wisdom teeth for coming to play today. Timing of
Kind
that.
of really just
Timing of that.
yeah, that's for Crows fans and Jared's tooth.
Yeah. So,
Hey mate, if you're looking for sympathies in the dictionary between shit and
yeah,
syphilis.
yeah. There it is.
I'm on cloud pair right now.
Do you think you could instead of you know how the saying is you could like run through a brick wall, you're that excited. Do you think you could run through like a glass table?
That's a play of the game. That is the play of the game. The impossible angle, and he puts it through. And Portland. Danger. Butler. Get around him. Get around him. Edge of the seat.
I've also felt very good to be able to do a segue. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Look at you taking over hosting duties. Do you want to introduce everyone then?
It only took me 59 episodes or 60 episodes. I can't even know the fucking what episode no we're up to. I can't introduce
We're under
them.
59. It's all right. You're all good. Keep going.
Cool.
Baby steps.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the glass table. My name's Anthony. This is I mean it's
Take five.
I'm gonna sit back now.
Yeah, it's episode 59. As you can tell, we are in high spirits. It is a Monday. We're obviously releasing this on a Tuesday because of the fortunate and sort of unfortunate events that occurred on what was a stellar Sunday. And yeah, we all took it in and decided to take a day to soak everything in from the last round 24. And here we are. We're soaking it in. We've got plenty to get through. There is
Yes.
round 24, Rising Star, All-Australian squad, the Carlton tears and happiness, the Port happiness, Crows tears, and many of other things that occurred over the past, 96 hours, I guess. It's been a whirlwind sort of time, Jared. So welcome yourself.
Thank you. It has been a very, very, it's been a big 3 days, I suppose you can put it. Like, obviously, footy wise, it's been crazy. Outside of the actual games, it's been crazy. Like you said, Rising Star, all Australian stuff. It's been flat out. And yeah, like I said, we decided to record today because Port and Freo decided to play until midnight, and we couldn't.
No, it's not Port and Freo's fault.
It's Perth's fault for being 3 hours behind.
I was going to say AFL, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Okay.
I'll pay it.
This is the issue that I'm running into, the moral dilemma that I'm having within myself. I love the fact that it goes like game, no overlap. I love that. Really cool. However, not sustainable for people that are trying to film podcasts on a Sunday night and the last game finishes at 9:30. Not sustainable. I like it though, but like I was trying to think of ways you could work it. You can't because it's like 12. Like the first game would have to start at like 11:30 a.m. Victoria time, and it's diabolical. Imagine being in Perth trying to watch like an 11:30 a.m. like first AFL game of the day, and you're waking up at 8:30 on a Sunday, you're just flipping on the television like, nice.
some of us might be just getting home at that point.
Not this weekend though. Responsible this weekend.
Yeah, I was a very mature drunk,
You did well. You were very, it was
as
very
you can tell.
it was very impressive. I had work Sunday morning at 6, and the night before I had a belief in my head that there was a very good chance that I was going to be waking up for work before I got home. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that was not the case. I woke up to him in bed for a night, which we will definitely touch on in terms of local football stuff, which we may as well get to now if you'd like to. Or a night where I
Great
thought
segue again.
a night where I thought he could go absolutely mental. Still obviously would have had a good night, but would you like to run us through your Saturday into your Saturday night?
Put me on the spot. Didn't have the words prepared. Normally I go to you first, but clearly you've taken over the hosting duty. So anyway, strap yourselves in, grab some chocolate, and listen to this story, huh? It's gonna be phenomenal. Nah, it was good. Very good day. I won't go into all the details, but essentially we played an elimination final, finishing fifth. And, you know, definitely underdogs. And there's something about local footy underdogs that just tells a story.
Yeah.
And this team we lost to Ingle Farm, so shout out. Um, they bet us by like 90 points literally 2 weeks ago. And we come into this one and it's a final and it's like, wow, can like there was something in the air about this weekend. And we rocked up, started really well, can maintain the whole day. The margin wouldn't have gotten any further than 20 points throughout the day, swings and roundabouts throughout the whole time. 10 minutes to go in the last quarter, there's 10 points in it, they're up. And it was like watching a team, it was like watching the local footy Hawks. Hawkball.
Hawkball.
We were Spossball, it was.
Hawks
5 goals in. That sounds like some noodle place. I don't know. Noodle box. No, but like kicked like 4 or 5 goals in the space of 5 or 6 minutes, and I was lucky enough to kick a couple of those, bang up forward, second best on the day. Kicked 4 goals for the day, 4 goals, three, and yeah, we won by 20 points. Which this is the story, because after about 5:30, everything's a blur, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But this is the key part of the story that everyone should take home. They bet us by 90 points. We come back 2 weeks later at the same ground and beat them by 22. It's a 112-point turnaround. Just let that sink in.
Massive. Monstrous.
We won a final.
Monstrous.
We won a final. It was a game we weren't supposed to win. We did it. We showed up. Now anything can happen.
Huge. Genuinely massive.
Just,
Still alive. Still alive. Another week of footy for Sposs, which is very, very exciting.
another week of me out forward, eh?
How many can he kick?
29 for the year.
Dangerous.
That's more than Charlie Dixon. And I'm a big defender, Charles. It's just
Cop that.
pair the pair.
Cop that one, Charles. You
But no, it was good. Happy days, and yeah, we survive another week.
Huge. That's genuinely huge.
What about you?
Well, we had our final round of the home and away season. Came up against a team that I think we beat by 10 goals ish the first time around. Thought it was going to be something similar. Thought the average margin might take a little bit of a dip. Didn't. Not. I think the end score was like 100. I think we won by 110 ish, maybe. First quarter was close ish. It was like 5 goals to a few points.
University are rolling in their grave.
University are filthy at me. I can tell you that now. if any of them are still around, they will be
Quite literally in their grave.
Yeah, I was going to say, not happy with my words that have happened this week. But no,
Yeah.
we took it to them again. Beautiful day for football out in Melbourne. Very a bit windy, but beautiful day for football. Got the job done. We already had top spot locked in, but we cruised our way through. So now we have a week off this week coming up because we finished top, so that's exciting. But the ones are playing the same team that we played. They played twice in a row, which is pretty funny. They're playing this Saturday in a qualifying final, so not a lose and you're out situation, but a lose and you get another chance. But we'll see how it goes. Very interesting though. But our game was not much, not much to report. To be honest, it was just a nothing game of football. We got through it. Had a good day. Football.
Well, on to the Jant local footy, I guess.
And well done to the Gent actual footy too, because it was another good weekend for us. I can tell you that.
Now, as much as I want to talk about our two games,
Of course.
I think we owe the service of talking about the situation that we have first.
Yes.
So let's just get straight into it. All right. I'm talking finals is done. It's sold. It's finished. We're now into the bye week. We're here. Finals is here. Like it's that time of the year. You instantly, as soon as you woke up this morning, you could
Smell it in
just
the
you could see you could
air.
it's the smell of finals, you know. That's not the guy around the corner getting prepped for his, little garden or it's not the lawnmower going at the back.
It's finals.
This is finals footy.
Mhm.
We're here. The top eight are the best, the cream of the crop are here. And once again, we're dealing with the beautiful finals bye, which has been blessed with the AFLW launch
Yep.
this week.
Good time.
But we're here. The fixture's already been announced, which is kind of another reason why we sort of did a Monday recording is
We
because
knew
we
that
got
was
to,
going to be news. We knew there was going to be a lot of news throughout the
yeah, and you know us, we like to be about 12 to 24 hours later.
day. Our favorite thing is being slightly late to news. So absolutely.
Yeah. It's almost like we're in Perth. Not really.
I
Just
would.
the Freo Dockers have been on a delay for a premiership for years.
That poor crowd. The roller coaster of emotions that poor crowd would have been through.
Broke my heart when I saw that lady pop up after the
Janice or whatever her name was. Yeah.
Rioli goal, and
Filthy
she was
about
like
that.
sad, and then it cuts back to Rioli going like this, and I'm like, well, the timing of that one's a bit.
Ah.
Cameraman's got some explaining to do, I reckon.
Think he might have a job in a couple of weeks' time.
And then Jordan Sweet kicks a goal afterwards, and he's just like, nah, no deal.
Oh.
Some of the players are absolutely sassy with their fucking celebrations on the
They
weekend.
were really really loving it. I think they were
But
thoroughly.
before we get into that,
Yes,
I've just derailed everything.
no, it's fine. We got to talk about finals football because it's the exciting time. It's the time of football that everyone loves more than anything.
It's my time. You're taking a break for another year, so it's all good. So
Yeah,
we're
done
going to
now.
get straight.
Off season.
But hey, can't wait for you to announce your listings.
It'll be so fun.
Did you see Essendon?
Yeah. Bye, Nick Hind.
Going to miss that very, very shaved head.
Like the awfully, like we've spoken about on this podcast, the two shaved head, like almost inverted.
It's like negative 0.5.
We've derailed again. Fox football.
Nick Hines' head is very important. I want to know if there's any hair follicles left.
I can't wait until he's like having 45 in like some local league near me next year, and I get to just see his face plus and all the local footy stats things.
All the camper graphics are showing
Yeah.
Nick Hines has been
God,
brought
it's gonna
back
be
to the
good.
local footy leagues. It's a very good chance to be a mid-season pickup or a delisted free agent.
Yeah, that's that too. Yeah.
Who needs pace on the halfback?
Yeah. Who's calling out for a halfback?
Probably a good scream out to a
Go to a Richmond. Richmond need
Yeah.
players. Richmond need
yeah. No,
a footballer.
I think Nick Hind as a name on a Richmond list actually suits.
Yeah, and like already wears a sash, so that checks out too. Also, Richmond will take anybody that knows how to kick a football at this point, considering they're losing 14 players this offseason. So I think if Nick Hind walked up to Punt Road and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, can I play here next year?" They'd be like, "What do you want?" Like, write your name on this check, write your amount, and you can come play
What
here.
number?
Yeah. Do you want 19 again? Because you can take it. I swear to God.
Isn't Tom Lynch 19?
But you probably won't play there next year anyway. So he's
He's
probably
pissing off to Collingwood or
yeah. I was
Melbourne or
gonna say he's
something
going
as
to
well.
Collingwood.
But
So what does it matter?
good God, everyone's exiting Punt Road.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so the first weekend of finals, the fixture's been announced. Give us your thoughts after I read this one out. So Thursday night, we got Thursday night footy back. It's Port Adelaide versus the Cats out of the Adelaide Oval. The Dogs play the Hawks on the Friday night at the MCG, which has some controversy about it already.
Yeah.
Saturday 2:50, 3:20 for those that live on the eastern side is the Swans versus the Giants. Very interesting that a qualifying final is played on a Saturday afternoon.
Mm.
Hey, and then the Saturday night is the juicy Lions Blues matchup at the Gabba. One of the, in terms of look and colours,
Oh
more
yeah.
aesthetically pleasing structured finals we've seen.
Yes.
And I reckon it's fucking unbelievable, this
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah. So on the times, firstly, before the teams thing, love the Thursday night one. Very big fan. Love the Saturday night one as well. Those two winners. You had to swap the other two though, right? Not just for okay. So in my honest opinion, Dogs versus Hawks is a very Saturday Arvo footy. I would fucking love to see that in the sun at the G. It's just it screams it. That's what it screams. It's like the Saints Giants one last year. It was always going to be the Saturday Arvo one. It was never going to be another time slot. It's probably going to pull the lowest crowd amongst all. Hawks fans show up no matter what. Like it'll still be a 70,000 crowd at the G, but
Yeah.
you know, it screams a Saturday Arvo. And then you have to put like Swans finished top. Like, surely you put them at a Friday night. Like you'd think. Either way, it is what it is. But not even just that. The Dogs team is pretty furious that they are playing that Friday night because they have timed it with the season launch of the women's team playing Whitten Oval at the same time, meaning there is going to be a slim crowd at, well, like AFLW hardcore fans will be the AFLW, which could take away from the men's one. There will definitely be men's, like people that support both, taking away from the women's one. So the crowd won't be anywhere near the height they want to get it to. This just proves, and it's like, it's rough to say, just proves that the AFL really doesn't get the AFLW just yet. They just don't quite put it to the pedestal that they need to probably put it to. And it's just like, all right, or whatever. Like this was the perfect opportunity for them to be like, yep, let's put the AFLW in a good spot. Let's let the Dogs have their thing. It'd be unreal if like the men's team that are playing in the finals the day after went and watched the women's. Like would have been huge for the whole contingent of the teams, the club, and then they fucked it. So unfortunate by the AFL. However, the other, yeah, like I said, the other games Thursday night, love it. Saturday night, love that too. Big stuff. Great games coming ahead. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for 2 weeks time.
Just on the Dogs and the AFLW and the AFL in general. I My thoughts on this have literally been summed up like 20 minutes before we recorded this. The fact of the matter is, you've just blatantly, and this was said by Andrew Dillon on AFL 360, literally on tonight. He's come out and said, they were talking about the wild card, and this is the AFL stance right now, and this is pathetic in my eyes. He's come out and said, he's been asked the question, what would be the benefit of a wild card round? And he's like, literally, first point of call was to go, oh, well, the first round of the AFLW is this weekend, so we can mix in the men's games for a wild card round. And the broadcasters would be interested in that and attracting more eyes to that. The blatant disregard for one, the AFLW, two, the AFL fans, who I don't think I've seen anyone want a wild card round. In a season like this, it's appealing.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's brought up. But there is just nothing at all that has any substance to suggest that within the next 2 to 3 years, you're sitting here going, you know what? A wild card round would be pretty damn good. Why do you have to hinder the AFLW? Why do you have to sit here and go, oh, well, the AFLW, what does it need? It needs men. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You're
Yeah.
so hypocritical, and you sit there on your high horse and you say the umpires are great. They're doing the best they've ever been. Everything's got to have an excuse or a reason. It actually infuriated me sitting here going, yeah, this is their golden opportunity. They work just as hard. They might not play as many games or bring in as much money, but you're not even giving it a fucking
Not given a
chance.
chance to do that. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think no matter what, like the AFL has sort of just proven again, like it's the ninth season of the AFLW. Like there's just 9 seasons in now. The every year the talent pool continues to get better because that's just how it is. Like now the girls that are getting drafted now have played footy their entire lives. Like this is like it's 9 years of AFLW. That is a long time for somebody's development. That is literally from under nines through to the 18s where they're getting drafted now. Like someone's entire childhood can be what it is for the boys and the men that are coming through the contest. Like the talent is going to be better than ever. The AFL needs to do everything it can to get more eyes on it, not be like, hey, let's schedule a final right at the same fucking time with the same team involved. Like, just it's brains, like it's just things like that, and then like a wild card thing. Like in full credit to the AFL, which the league didn't really do, other than like everything. Like the equalization of the league, like the way the league works, is one of the best in the entire world. In that teams that are bad for an extended period of time will then become really, really good, and it'll like it's very consistently the ladder will change and move depending on everything. Obviously, there's a few examples where teams will stay up there. Geelong is one of them, like that kind of stuff. But most of the time, teams that are bad will then become good, and it's very good the equalization of everything. Meaning you don't need a wild card round. Like you don't need to add an extra thing because you look at it now, the gap between second and fucking 10th was like one game. I read a thing today where if Hawthorn didn't give up that 41-point lead against you guys at the Adelaide Oval, they would have finished second. Like it's it's fucking bizarre that the AFL thinks they need to add more intrigue to the season when already seasons and everything lean on one thing. Freo would have made the finals if that Collingwood draw hadn't happened and if Jordan Clark didn't swear at the umpire against Carlton. That's literally, it's one moment that changes everything.
And also didn't lose to Essendon in that game at the G a
And
couple of
yeah,
weeks ago.
they were up 25 points in the last quarter. Like, it's not even like it's not a thing where it's like, oh, they needed to really win a whole nother game to get there. And they needed to step up another level. They barely had to. They needed one decision to go the right way and they would have played finals. Like, it is insane. It's a crazy, crazy thing. Same with Collingwood. They would be playing finals right now if that Freo result had gone their way. If they didn't draw with Essendon, like if Langford didn't kick that point in the last 2 minutes of the Essendon Collingwood game, Collingwood would be playing finals. And everyone here would be talking about how Collingwood are a danger because it's Collingwood. It's no need for a wildcard round when the league is already arguably the most exciting league in the entire world in terms of you have no idea where any team could finish at any point.
And that's the thing. At any stage, you sit here and go, a wild card round is a good idea. The teams have fought so hard to get into that top eight. That's why it's so prestigious to be in the top eight and play
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah.
And then you could have years where there is a 2 or 3 game gap between seventh and 10th. And you're going to go, oh, you know what? We're going to have a wild card round. And then seventh place is going to waltz into the wild card. They might have a couple of injuries, and that's it.
No,
Their
it's
season's
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
They don't get that opportunity to have a break. Everyone has. We complain about the pre-finals bye. If you want something to happen on the pre-finals bye, get rid of the fucking thing.
Yeah. Just
But
don't do it.
you're not going to do that because you want the top eight in the finals to be equal. You want everyone to have that equal rest, which is perfectly fine. So, in any situation the AFL sits right now, wildcard round or not, it doesn't win. There's no winning situation other than the fact there's one thing that talks, and
And
it's money.
And the AFL, right, as much as everyone here is like, please don't do a wildcard round, please don't do a wildcard round. The VFL had a wildcard round this year, and the first result that happened, the AFL would have been looking at it, and that in cartoons when like people see like a big pile of money in their eyes roll back and it changes into the dollar signs, like Krusty Krab, basically. What the AFL would have done was they would have watched the TV and they would have saw the Frankston Dolphins beat Gold Coast in the last quarter to make their way into finals. Like they beat them to give themselves a spot in the finals in this wild card round. Were down 5 goals in the last quarter and came back and won. The AFL would have seen that and went, "Holy shit, that's us!" Like imagine next year it's fucking Collingwood versus Carlton in a wild card round, and Collingwood storm home and win it to make the finals and knock Carlton out. Like imagine the money, imagine the views, like imagine the social media shit. That is all the AFL would be thinking right now. Every other noise is out. They've watched that game and gone, "Yep, that's working. That's us. Thank you very much." Like, oh well.
Just doesn't sit well with me at all.
No. I don't broke like this is what I have the same issues with the free kicks and everything like that. Don't break things that aren't broken. Don't just leave it. Like if it works, that's fine. Don't change anything. Like you don't need to fix anything. Everything is fine as it is. It's record attendances already this year, record viewership. You don't need to change anything. Just let the
But
game.
this is what gripes me about that. They
Mm,
pronounce record attendances, record memberships, this and that. Fans are supporting their club. They're not supporting the AFL. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in the record attendance announcement, there was not one thank you to the fans for rocking up.
I didn't
Do you
actually
know
see that.
how that doesn't sit well with me at all?
It's a
And
message for the sponsors basically to be like, look at all these people, like
yeah,
give them
this,
money. Yeah.
this, but this, you want to know how they got the record attendances?
Mm,
What did they add? They've got to gather around, like they've
yeah.
got these things,
Mhm.
this and that. They schedule fixtures to suit their agendas. They seek. It's almost like someone seeking approval.
It's literally the AFL is like, how do I make my numbers look good at the end of the year so that we get more sponsors kind of thing. And like, it's exactly what the wildcard thing is. It's exactly what gather round was to begin with. Like, and this is another thing I have, and this isn't AFL based, this is club based. I fucking hate when clubs add like pet memberships into their overall scale of membership. Oh man. Because every single year now, a team is going to break their membership record. Saints have done it like 3 years in a row. And I know for a fact that like more than 50% of those are like the 3 game memberships, the 1 game memberships, the pet memberships. And I'm like, okay, just
At, 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 at what point do you sit there and go, all right, we don't, we can proudly announce what we've had as a membership. That's fine. But the real number I'm not even talking about the audited number, the real number we actually project
yeah,
to have a face value on that membership and how much people support their club. Just announce the actual attendance per club per
yeah,
year.
do that instead of members because that'll tell you more. Like that'll tell you more than anything. And like if you're gonna do a membership announcement, just do it as the full members. When people buy a full membership package where you get access to every home game, that kind of thing, announce those. Because like there will be teams that will still have really high amounts. Like Port will have a lot of those, West Coast will have a lot of those, Carlton, Collingwood. Those 4 will have like big ones, Richmond as well, like here and there. But like a lot of the teams that are announcing these things, like
Gold
Saints,
Coast.
yeah, Saints have like 60,000 members this year. And like, while that's fantastic, have you seen fucking Marvel Stadium when we're playing like West Coast on a Sunday at 3:20? There's like 12,000 people there. Like we do
Have
not have.
GWS ever opened up the top of the Giant Stadium?
I don't know. I wouldn't even know what it looks like because the broadcast camera's like, nah, straight down. Not including that one. Tangents, hey? Got stuck abusing the AFL for 10 minutes.
Anyway, if you're ever looking for someone that needs a job, uh, and one other thing I wanted to talk, since we're just diving into wildcard round,
Yeah.
um, one thing I could consider it at the
Mhm.
time is when Tasmania come in because you
Yes.
have 19th team. Now, here's my pitch for it. Wildcard round was to be introduced. You've got 19 teams, right? You have it's an uneven equality on what can make the eight.
Yeah.
So you do 7, 8, 9, 10, so you can make it, right? It equivalates to more than half trying to have a spot. That's okay. Um, or you even just do eighth versus ninth, depending on the
So,
simulation.
yeah. Yeah.
The other thing that you've got to consider here is when their 19th team comes in, there'll be a consideration for 20 teams, so forth.
Yeah.
The one thing that is truly going to be affected by all of this, and I think we're starting to see it now, is the 18 team competition and the talent that's coming in.
Mhm.
Now we talk about equalization and how good it is and everything. And, players are going to clubs and they're picking up draft picks and academy players, father sons, etc. They're coming in, making it look fantastic. The AFL is soaking it all in. There's a genuine drop in talent right now
Mhm.
that you can see,
Yeah.
and it's why teams like Richmond have fallen so far. Why teams like North are taking forever to come up. It's why teams like the Crows just suck, but like West Coast have taken, so many players to come in, and just cannot, develop. So that's sort of another factor that they've got to consider into this is whilst it might not affect the wildcard situation, the teams coming in might have a better opportunity of making the eight with the wild card. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough, but we could be here for hours talking about it, and we don't want to talk about that.
And the AFL will still just do whatever makes them more money. But yeah, like that's been an issue for a while, and that the spread of talent isn't as good as it potentially could have been with 16 teams. I think they're guaranteed to, when Tassie comes in to make 19, I think they're guaranteed to make it 20 just to make it easier on them fixture wise, everything like that. Would love to see another South Australian team come in. Whether it's a team that's already in the sample, whether it's a newly made one, whatever the case may be.
Fuck him. Disregard completely that competition.
Doesn't exist.
They're a disgrace.
Doesn't exist. Well, there you go. So either way, I think they're going to make a 20th. Talent pool gets spread even thinner. Like, admittedly, like players are getting better. Like as you go, like they are getting coached better from younger ages. Like the athleticism from these players, like you've seen it in the last couple of years, the likes of Sheasel, Dacos, all these players coming in just dominating straight away. It happens absolutely, but there's also like the bottom half of all these drafts are just like there's a lot of talent out there that is getting nothing, and like teams look like nothing.
That might be some of our best football chat this year.
Football, how good's football?
We really are a bunch of smarties, aren't we?
And we're right back.
Had to bring us back. Sorry, boys and girls. Just quickly, obviously the fixture announced, we won't get too much into previewing it because I think that'll be something that we do next week. But just on the situation that occurred on round 24 on that Sunday, I just want to hear your thoughts on that whole Jack Higgins going into Port Adelaide Freo, and I've never seen a competition so one-sided in terms of who they're supporting. Obviously, I could narrow it down. I could put it like into a tier list: who was supporting Freo and who was supporting Port Adelaide. Obviously, you had Carlton, Port fans. There was a lot more in the Freo spec. West Coast were with us as well.
Yeah.
I'm throwing in the Freo side Collingwood at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
St Kilda at number 2.
Richmond are in there.
Richmond are in there. Adelaide are in there just for spite against us.
Yeah.
I'd even say Brisbane would probably be in there because I reckon they'd better chance of beating Freo than they would Carlton, considering injuries might be a possibility to come back.
Yeah.
There's such a Oregon. There was such a 50-50 divide between this, but the reaction of the whole, the AFL got exactly what it wanted. We speak about what the AFL what they want. They got exactly what they wanted.
To be fair, they fucking nailed it.
Well, not even that. Jack Higgins nailed it. He nailed the whole
story,
the structure.
He knew what was going on. Yeah. Fuck.
Jesus Christ. So obviously, floor is yours, man. Like, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, like it was bizarre. Okay, before I get into absolutely anything, no matter the occasion, whether it was the round 24, no matter anything about the results of anything else, that Jack Higgins goal, that Jack Higgins moment would be as locked into my brain. If it was round 24, if it was round 15, if it was round 6, if it was round 1, if it was in a font. Like, no matter what, that moment is fucking unbelievable. It did not matter who it was against. Like, at that moment, when Higgins kicks that goal and it goes in, nothing else is in my brain other than holy fucking shit, we're going to win this game. That was all it was. I didn't give a shit about anything else. Obviously, for the wider AFL contingent, that moment is like, holy fuck, it's happening again. Like that, like I've watched so many commentary reactions to the goal. I've obviously watched the actual goal, the crowd reactions, the noise, and then all the commentary. So I've seen the SEN one, the Triple M one, the Channel 7 one. And it's every single one just has at least 2 people in the box just like what the fuck is going on? And like I can't even I can't even explain when that siren goes and they cut. Not even when the siren goes. When Higgins kicks that goal and they cut to the Blues fans in the crowd, it's like you can like that photo of Elmo with the Vietnam flashbacks thing over the top of it. It's like that is it. Like that's all you can see. And like I can't even help but when like he kicks the goal, I'm running around the fucking house screaming. And I come back and I see these Blues fans, and it's like I can see every bit of color out of their face. And I'm like, oh fuck, like we might be that team now. And like I know what that Jamie Elliott thing did to the Carlton fans after it happened. Like I know the effect that it had on the whole fan base. And I was like, if this is us now, oh fuck, like that is not a responsibility that I'm willing to bear. And it was unbelievable. Like that goal, it should win goal of the week for one. It should arguably win goal of the year if we're talking moments.
Don't even get me started. That nah, I'm
Okay,
not even gonna. I'm not even gonna consider it because
well,
if you want me to consider it, then Houston should have won last year, and
that's
Darcy
fair.
Byrne
That's
Jones
fair.
is
I
in
mean,
the
we spoke. I literally think we
confirmation
had
this year.
this exact same conversation last year. Oh no, yeah, last year about the Houston thing being like it should win it kind of thing. I've just seen it happen around the thing. It is ridiculous that goal, and it's all the lead up to it as well. It's Kemp's miss, and then it's Filippo's miss, and then it's the goal. And then it's Jones' smother afterwards. Like the whole fucking last 2 minutes of that game are just
Is is
unbelievable.
that game a contender for? And we talk about finishes, but I think the whole game
Yeah,
was a ripper.
fantastic whole game.
Is is that the game of the year, or is there?
I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of is this the game of the year? There isn't much that passes it, I think. There aren't many better games from like just the memory, like the
But
Adelaide
like
one with the good finish was good.
that's it. Like, are we? Are we? I'm talking about games.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's been games this year that have just been so good to
So good
watch,
to go through. Yeah.
and the endings, like the draw, Anzac Day draw, was just a good game of football.
Yeah.
Both Collingwood Carlton games have been good.
Yeah.
I'd almost say this is the best game of the year.
I think
And
it
like you throw in the whole four quarters, you throw in the moment, you
mm,
throw in the goal.
yeah.
There is a lot of stack up, a lot that stacks up in that to suggest it is.
It's like it's one of those ones where you look at like you have to look at the entire four quarters. You also then have to look at the situation surrounding it, like everything like that. It is, and like I've seen it a lot. I've seen it from pretty much everyone. It's arguably the game of the year. And if you halfway through this year, if anybody in the entire AFL contingent, and I'm looking directly down the camera, if anybody in the entire AFL contingent halfway through the year, if you said to any of them that Ross Lyon was going to be involved in the game of the year, I would have been laughed out of the fucking building. But ladies and gentlemen, we won 6 out of our last 11, and one of them is arguably the game of the year. Cop that one, you dogs.
As if Port Adelaide St Kilda was game of the year. Like you can't. We
Cracker
both sat
under
there.
a
I don't
cracker under
know
the
what
roof.
you're delusional.
But in all honesty, unbelievable. What a game. What a moment. There's not many moments that I can think of where like Saints don't usually kick like late goals. Like that's not usually our way of going about it. Like we
It's
don't
usually against this.
yeah, usually it's against us if anything, or we just kind of like hold on. Like it's like there's no goals in the last 5 minutes and we just like steadfast. We rarely kick a goal in the last minute of the game. And we did. I was fucking loving it.
I was loving it too because I thought, here we go, the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
Which like led into the final game, which became an anticlimactical factor
It was
because
a good game of
I
football
mean,
still, at least. Like still a good game
Port
of
Adelaide
football.
were just yeah, well, it was, but sitting there going 5 minutes to go, and I'm watching Rioli shush the crying crowd, and I'm like,
It's over.
just spoiled the party, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we had to be, the moment killers. The one thing I did want to mention that really caught my attention. It's caught my attention more so than Port Twitter and the fallout from the Port game is the double side of the social aspect of it is celebrating Carlton fans like they had just won a game, which full credit to them.
They got it.
Obviously, you would celebrate slipping in, but like, I've seen some things, and I'm just like, come on. Also, you're welcome. Um, and then like the Collingwood fans attacking him, and then it's just like cheap shot after cheap shot, and then like I'll scroll through, and then that'll be done, and then next thing you know, I'm watching a West Coast and Freo fans go at it, and Freo fans be like, "Well, your season ended in March," and like it's just it was so they were just all a bunch of Harrison Petties, like it was just ridiculous. And I'm just sitting here going, well, if the AFL don't announce that Logan Evans is going to be rising star for round 24, I'm going to absolutely kill somebody.
If in the midst of all this it gets lost that Logan Evans should have been the rising star, you would have been fucking furious. But he got it. So it's a win. A win in the books.
I've been campaigning for 8 weeks.
And he finally
Should
got
have
it
got against Brisbane.
last
Should have
round.
got against Brisbane.
Yep.
Should have got it against Richmond, I reckon.
Yep.
We played a very good game. Didn't get it. He finally got around 24. 23 kicks, 0 handballs.
I did say that. Bizarre.
He
Last that one.
stood up. I think it was like 80% efficiency. He played majority of the game. Stood up when Farrell went down. Took some kick-ins,
Ooh.
which I was like, An 18-year-old just waltzing in. Hello, boys. Got this one covered. Kicked off Ryan Burton and Miles Bergman going, fellas, you go along. Like it's,
Go and crumb the pack.
yeah, well, you go do that work. I've got this one covered. And he hit target after target after target. His tackling for a kid is unbelievable. His one-on-one contested work. The thing that got me was he was one-on-one against Luke Jackson. And he's just come in and gone, pop, I'm just going to punch that away and you're not taking the mark. Like, I genuinely think this kid's a star and people are sleeping on him. But it got me thinking, like, and I've asked the question on the socials, has anyone been missed?
That's what I was trying to think of before. Like, obviously, I look to home first, and we didn't have that many sort of, new debutants this year in terms of like stars. Obviously, Darcy Wilson is the exception. He's fantastic, but he got his pretty early on in the year. Like, it was well sorted kind of thing. If Hugo Garcia had probably played a full game, he probably would have got one eventually. If you could get one for one quarter of action, he probably would have won it 3 weeks in a row because he 3 weeks in a row he was the sub, came on for a quarter and had like the best quarter of anybody. But like that's obviously close to home that I couldn't really think of. I'm trying to think of like just players outwards that haven't gotten any.
Archie Roberts from the Bombers has had a
Yes,
good month.
he's had a good month, Archie Roberts. He had a very good sort of back end of the year. And I thought he was very impressive again. Again on the weekend, he was good. So good on him, I suppose. Trying to think of some of the
That's
new
all I
ones.
can.
Lawson Humphrey's got one. I was going to say
I
William got one, so that's fine.
was only saying Archie Roberts because two Essendon people commented on it while I was campaigning for Logan Evans.
Well, that works too. But yeah.
So, lads,
I'm trying to think who else. Who else was like new this year? Did Bryn Teagle have a good game? Oh, wait, no, he's already been around. Never mind. That doesn't work.
that is one of the worst calls you've ever made.
That's what I was saying. Did he play a good game? And then I was remember that he's also been
He's
on.
had more haircuts than games. Like, you can't be throwing that out.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad he got one at least.
Yeah, I bring you onto this podcast for your charisma and your smartness with footy, and you
And I dished
throwing
that.
Bryn Teagle into the
Yeah, I
Rising
dished
Star
that
nomination.
one up. Yeah.
Have a good heart and look at yourself, brother. Really think about what you want to bring to the table when we're going forward. I'm sick of carrying this. Like my shoulders hurt every week. And you just sit there with your beautiful smile and you just have to fucking lighten everything up. And anyway, Jesse Hogan won the Coleman medal. So I'm really, really happy about that.
Also, because we're a very adult podcast. We are very mature for our ages, I believe.
Demure.
Yeah, we're very mature, very demure for our ages. I believe that
Very, very cutesy.
very cutesy for our ages. I believe that we provide hard hitting analysis and we are we are such a well placed unit when it comes to everything football related. However, he won it because he kicked 69 goals. I'm allowed to be immature for once, and that's what I'm saying. And then also the rest of these podcasts are immature too. But Jesse Hogan won the Coleman with 69 goals, and that's pretty fucking nice, to be honest.
You know what's funny is at one stage during my game on the weekend, it was 10-9-69 versus 10-9-69. And I looked up and giggled.
You're like, no, let's stay at
That's
this
a
spot.
69 inside of a 69. That's like 69-69.
It's good stuff. Well done, Jesse.
Really got the crowd going, that one.
He just looked up and just look at that, guys.
Nah, Jesse Hogan winning the Coleman medal, not my stuff.
Oh,
Just seriously, on Jesse Hogan, I'm just gonna take this moment because
that's fun.
I want to give Jesse Hogan his flowers for winning the Coleman medal. This is a story that has had criticism,
From me.
setbacks, missed opportunities from you, and nothing but support from me.
Yeah,
Nothing but
I'm
a
happy to
full
admit.
backing.
I'm happy to admit I had no faith in him. You had all the faith in him. I'm willing to take this loss.
When a key forward stands up, I have an experience in key forward situations. So when a key forward stands up and goes, "I'm going to win a Coleman medal," he's got a great set shot. Well, I watched it on the weekend. It was a bit jittery, but anyway, that's besides the point. The comeback story of Jesse Hogan is, I think, one of the best stories in footy. And the fact that, again, like we sat here, you and I have had words good and bad about Jesse Hogan. The AFL world has had good and bad words about Jesse Hogan. He's had setbacks, criticisms, everything. For him to come out and be like, "I'm going to win a Coleman medal. I'm going to kick 69 goals for the year, 10 more than anyone else." I truly think Jesse Hogan deserves his flowers for his season.
100%.
He's become pretty much the best forward in the comp. He's going to be an All-Australian this year. It's a true testament to his character and his willpower to come out and be like, I'm going to turn my career around and have one of the best years. And I think he's been slept on in seasons where he's actually kicked goals. But for him to be so consistent and getting that reward, that's something to be really, really proud of if I was Jesse.
100%. I think it's not just this season he deserves to be proud of. It's his entire career. Like him and the other example I have of this is Joe Danaher in that, getting drafted to a Melbourne-based team is hard for anybody. Obviously, it's the media and like any of the like Melbourne teams, Adelaide teams, WA teams, basically getting drafted to one of these teams is a really tough thing because you are locked into the media. You will be in the limelight no matter what. If you're a high draft pick and you are a key forward or a starting midfielder, you'll be locked into the media limelight forever. Some players do not like that, and that's so fair enough. We've seen one of the greats of all time in Dustin Martin just retire who hated the media. That was his whole thing. What Jesse Hogan did to be able to overcome that, obviously he moved to Freo originally, struggled a little bit still there because it was still, that's a lot of limelight still in WA. Went to Great Western Sydney, perfect opportunity for him to take himself away, be like, I'm now in a smaller market. I can just focus on footy, not any of the outside stuff, just focus on footy and play well. It's exactly what it did. Joe Danaher, like I said, did the same thing. Obviously left Essendon, went to Brisbane, lives a completely different lifestyle to anything else. Like has his own space, goes and plays footy. That's great as well. Like that sort of atmosphere of everything. He deserves to be commended. He deserves to be commended for playing football the way that you want to do it. Don't worry about the media. Don't worry about any of that kind of stuff. Play your football. Focus on your football. Everything else to do the talking. You want a Coleman for it. Well played, Jesse. I'll admit, not that I was hating on him. I didn't have the faith that you did in him, and he has proved me wrong, and he will continue to prove me wrong. Like I said, he's an Australian this year, or he will be. Good on you, Jesse.
I love being right.
Well played. That's a clap for you and a clap for Jesse.
Thank you. Yeah, Jesse and I share similar traits in
Goal kicking ability.
big goals.
Yeah.
Both of us can stand up in finals too. You mentioned in their retirements and everything like that. I think we should go around the glass table.
Absolutely, we should. 100%.
So this week our question was, what footy retirement broke your heart? Obviously, we've seen a few. be announced, obscure, not obscure. I tell you what, this year's retirement announcements on Brownlow night is going to be a long one, and it's going to be a very, very, very.
The
It's
motorcade
got
around the
depth.
Rio Grand Final day is very bizarre.
Oh my god! I tell you what, it's got range. Like from the top, you're going to see like the likes
The
of
depths of
Dusty, and at the
mountains.
bottom, like there is some real. I don't want to say forgettable names, but ones that you're going to sit back. They're literally going to be on like um, some sort of questionnaire or something going
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
Gridley or some shit.
They'll be like, who is a three-time premiership player that retired in 2024? And like people will pick Dustin Martin, it'll be like 65%. And then you're like Dylan Grimes, and it's like, fuck. Like I forgot about
Who
him.
played for North and Melbourne in the 2010s? And sit there and go, oh, well, I don't know. There's like not many at all. Ben Brown.
Who played for the Swans and then retired as a Richmond Tiger in 2024. And you're like, fuck, like, who was that? Like, surely they didn't play any of the flags. Like, who played late? Thank Curtis. Naismith, Naismith. Sam Naismith. Actually, don't know if he played a game for the Tigers. Oh,
What?
did he play a game, Naismith? Sam Naismith.
Yes, he did.
He only went there like this year, no? He played three. Good
He's
on
been
him.
there for like he's been there for like 3 years, hasn't he?
No, he only got there this year. He only got to the Tigers this year. Sam Naismith. It's fine. We're good.
Boy, oh boy. Anyway, enough about us and what we know.
We have
What are
some.
some of the comments that stood out, boy?
Well, we have the classic Port ones, because they happen every single time on these ones, as we know. Obviously, your ones that you said in there. Well, if you want to talk about your ones first, you can absolutely.
Well, Robbie Gray destroyed me.
Obviously,
His retirement. I'm not looking forward to what Boakes does whenever that happens, and I hope it's in another 24 months because I'm not emotionally prepared for it. Like it's come so quickly. But regardless, we'll not put it into the air. But Robbie Gray hurt. Hamish Hartlett as well.
yep.
Like you have these little soft spots for players, and I was like, Hamish had such an interesting career. Um, and yeah, those two definitely. Robbie Gray will put me to tears. Really
Yeah.
didn't help the situation I was in either. It was a showdown, and I was very very intoxicated. It was a silly Saturday, and I've ended up going to the showdown afterwards.
Big day, very big day,
And then I came back.
bigger
My
day.
eyes physically hurt from crying and being tired. And you say bigger day, it was a bigger day, 9 day.
Probably not again.
It was a big weekend.
Regardless, we had a couple other Robbie Grays come in, of course. And then in terms of small pair ones, Adam Sperling said Treaders, so that was obviously there as well. Brad Ebert, I remember the Brad Ebert one. That broke my heart. The Brad Ebert one. That one,
This was one of the best retirements, I
yeah.
think,
In
in
terms of
terms of a send off.
yeah, in terms of what he did in his last game, like that, I remember that broke my fucking heart when Brad Ebert retired. I was like, that's actually so rough. Like, went out doing what he loved, just fucking putting his body on the line, like doing everything he could to put himself out there.
Yeah, the last act in footy was him just throwing his whole body, willing his team to try and get to a grand final. And the fact is that if he did that and went on to win, like if Port went on to win that game, he's not playing in a grand final next week. So that's everything he did. He was such a team man, Brady.
That's the most team thing you could possibly ever do. Put your body on the line to get your team into a grand final, knowing that you probably won't play it if you get smashed. Like that's ridiculous. Like that's insane.
Absolutely. Speaking of heartbreaking retirements, is Carolyn, sorry. She's come in with Bob Murphy. Obviously missed the 2016 flag due to the ACL and then retired a year later. Which I think everyone is sort of shattered still to this day that Bob Murphy did not get that flag, that opportunity.
Yeah,
It's a cruel game.
he falls into that camp of club legends that were there for so much heartbreak good or bad, like either bad at the bottom or missed a lot of chances. He falls in that area of club legends that just couldn't quite be there. Like built everything you could to get to that point, and then couldn't quite finish it off. Bob Murphy's that one. Nathan Jones is another one that I put in that in the tweet kind of thing. That was heartbreaking. And then obviously Luke Beveridge, like that is going to be one of the most iconic moments you'll ever find on a podium in grand finals ever. Is Luke Beveridge bringing Murphy up and giving him the medal? Like it's incredible. But yeah, heartbreaking. Like heartbreaking as shit. That one really hurts.
Absolutely, it did. Any others that point out to you?
Well, the one that I'm thinking here from Viper, and I remember this is one of those ones where I remember exactly where I was. Chris Judd going out on a stretcher. I know exactly where
Yeah.
I was. I was in the car with my dad. We were watching my brother playing footy, and I just remember the commentators being like, "Judd is down in the middle of the ground, like he can't move, he can't walk," and they're like, this is going to be the last time we see Judd." And it was like, damn, like fuck, that's rough. And like everyone in the crowd knew at the time that it was going to be his last moment. Like, two-time Brownlow medalist. Like, you don't see him very often. And then, so Judd going out on a stretcher, rough way to go about it. That's one of the ones that lead into like me. Lenny Hayes retired after he got a knee injury as well. That's one that breaks my heart because like he fucking put his heart and soul into Secure Football Club for so long to the point where he just couldn't quite keep going. And like he was never going to be the player that was going to announce his retirement in advance and then like give himself a send off. He was always going to be, I'm out when I fucking physically cannot walk anymore. And that was how he went out, Lenny. So that's like similar vibes to me to the Judd one is yeah, Lenny, and that way of going out is rough.
Well, I mentioned all the Port ones, and yeah, completely agree with the Lenny Hayes one. I think we see all these champions and they go out without that swan song.
Yeah.
I think one that stands out as well that a lot of people haven't mentioned here is Justin Westhoff.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get on the park because his body was fine, but he just wasn't selected.
Yeah.
And there's obviously still a dispute to this day that Westhoff in that prelim against the Tigers would have been the difference. So that broke up my heart too. Like you grow up with all these people and you see all the differences they make to your club, and they're one club players. I think one club players you hold dearly to
Oh,
that because they've been with you for so long. Like Dusty, one club, Lenny Hayes, one club, Westhoff, Brad Ebert, Judd was two, but felt like one club each time he played for them. Like it's someone that soaks in every moment wherever they are. That truly makes a difference in their retirement to people. So yeah, there's a lot of heartbreaks. I'm sure there's a lot more to come. There is every single year.
100%. I mean, like, the only other one that I can think of, and it's obviously not the one where he can't get on the park, but obviously, like you said, the one club player is the Nick Rewalt one, where you kind of knew it was coming. The year before, people were calling for him to retire, and then he went out and had 29 and kicked 9 against the Lions and said, "Get fucked, everybody." And
I
so
think you've mentioned that game at
at
least.
least 3 times, 4 times.
How many episodes are we up to?
59.
59. 118, I reckon.
Well, regardless, we knew it was coming, and then he got to
119 now.
Don't you fucking. Well, either way, he got to go out on his own terms.
120 now.
I was talking about a game after. Not even talking about the Lions one.
I just talk about Nick Rewalt now.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, obviously he's a fucking legend, but yeah, went out on his own terms. Everyone knew, like everyone knows what he meant to the St Kilda Football Club. Was captain at a young age, captained us for the longest fucking time ever, and yeah, like I'll stop. It's
No,
fine.
no, continue.
No, I'm done.
Please, your turn.
We're not stealing from the basement yard.
Yeah, the glass table yard now, boys. Now, what we could possibly do here. Obviously, the All Australian team has been announced. We talk about retiring greats
Yes.
and everything. We're going to put a separate episode out of.
Yes.
I had this plan to do it on the episode, but I've now decided very last minute that we're actually just going to do a
We're
separate
going long
recording
here. So
because
yeah.
I've just seen how long we've been going for. So there'll be a separate episode on Wednesday without us picking it. It would be 10 minutes max. You don't have to sit there for too long. All right. We're not going to talk about it in depth. We don't even know the fucking stats of these players. We're just going to pick on, I guess what we like to say is face value and eye test.
Yes, exactly right.
Yes.
That's our
That's
favorite.
how
Our
we,
favorite thing is eye test. Eye test is always the way to go with
yeah.
these
Well, that's how we pick our stupid, sexy AFL players.
things. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Got me. Actually got me. Like, well played. Well fucking played.
It's just quickly before we get into stupid, sexy AFL players. The squad of the All Australian team is a very stupid, sexy squad. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think there's a very good amount of footballers in there, but there's one in particular, stupid, sexy player in particular that's not been and actually before I get into that, just before we do, and I think he'll be on this list, is obviously we're going to announce next week on our episode the class table,
Mhm.
which I definitely did not forget about. Um, so we'll definitely do that next week as well, along with Pack v Pack. That'll be back. There's a lot not happening this week because simply the AFL decided to derail us and also don't like fans. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be out next week. So I'm sure he'll feature on that. But Jared Thomas, the particular RM, and I'm not talking Williams, missing from I'm sure a lot of them will wear RM Williams on the night.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
but you want to tell us a bit about Rowan Marshall and him being probably the 45th player on this 44-man All Australian squad.
All
PSA to everyone, this may very well be kind of like, remember that goal umpires saga we all went through?
Remember dog's bad? Yeah, anyway. So
Oh, goal umpires as well. I'm going to get to that.
so
What's yours, brother?
right. Now, I am okay. You know what I'm gonna down the barrel this one again. I'm willing to just accept. Yeah, open your chocolate, please. Please get comfortable. I'm willing to accept that Rowan Marshall isn't it might not be the best ruck in the league. Okay, that's fine. Sure. Okay. Max Gorn, been doing it for a long time. AA shouldn't be on longevity, but that's fine. Whatever, all good. Tristan Sherry's had a good year. I'm willing to accept he's not the best ruck in the AFL. However, if you can look me in the eyes, in the AFL, I want you to do this to me right now. If you're going to look me in the eyes and tell me that Rowan Marshall isn't in the top 44 players in the entire AFL, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to me. You're lying to the general fucking public. I just have some stats, okay? I just have a few fucking stats that I need to run through really quickly before I lose my fucking mind, all right? Ranked number one in the fantasy average for the entire year. Now, I'm willing to say it's not all about fantasy. I get that. That's fine. I know it's that. Not like it fucking.
No, it is.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to that too. Not like fantasy is the measure of a player's success or anything like that, or the league is like people care more about that than anything in the entire world. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Willing to accept it. Whatever. Ranked number one in fantasy average overall. The most disposals of any ruckman in the AFL. Second most marks of any ruckman in the AFL. The equals second most goals of any ruckman in the AFL. Most kicks of any ruckman. Most inside 50s of any ruckman. Most effective kicks of any ruckman. Most effective disposals of any kind of any ruckman in the entire AFL. And you put Darcy fucking Cameron ahead of him.
Is there a case? Is there a case that they could have had just both of them in there?
Yeah, sure. You know what? Fucking Sam Collins, go and get fucked. All right. Either of those guys, I don't care. One of those two. If you're telling me that the ruckman with the most touches, most effective disposals of any fucking ruckman in the comp can't make it into the best 44 players, you are taking the fucking piss. And before anybody comes out at me and says fucking, oh, but he doesn't get as many hitouts as a lot of the other guys, like that's the job as a ruckman. If you are going off that, Congratulations, Jared Witts. You are the All-Australian ruckman. That's what I fucking thought. Oscar McInerney, fucking Riley O'Brien. Who the fuck would put any of those three above Gawn, Marshall, Sherry, Cameron? Fine, fuck it. What I put him in. Being a ruckman in this day and age is not about getting fucking hitouts. It is about being effective as a tall, all around the ground. Top 44. Not even the top 44. I bet you next year when fucking Mark Robinson does his top 100 players in the AFL, Ryan Marshall will be in the top 20. I fucking say that now. I'm filthy about it. I'm actually fucking deadly filthy about it. And I have had enough.
That was good viewing.
I'm fucking angry. It was really upsetting.
You make a compelling case.
Yeah, I know.
One I agree with. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, well, I mean that leads perfectly into Ron Marshall leading the line in your fantasy for one of the teams anyway. And how'd you go?
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? I segued into stupid sexy.
And then we didn't do
And
it.
we didn't do stupid sexy. So we'll do another segue a bit later. But yeah, look, Rowan Marshall definitely has a very, very good case to be a all Australian ruckman or be mentioned on the squad at the very least. But what I will say is he is a premiership ruckman for the stupid sexy pair fantasy team that collected $1,400 over the weekend, and in one of the leagues, unfortunately, lost another grand final. It's very interesting to know that I win money playing with fake men. Like it's just, I just, all these points. Like we don't like to rank, or judge people, and yet we go throw them in a team and give them points for things they do. Like is it very demure? Possibly. It's not very cutesy,
Not very
but
cutesy.
it's very meaningful to me because I won. So thank you, Rowan Marshall, and the 11 other compatriots of Stupid Sexy Pair that helped me.
On.
But enough about me. I do want to announce the All Australian 40 squad
Yes.
to you, and then we'll get into Stupid Sexy, and then we'll finish this because otherwise, goodness me, we'll keep going.
Yes.
All Australian squad. The best part about this squad of 44, Jared Thomas, is that the fact right next to the Adelaide Crows it says nil.
One of only two teams that
No Rory Laird or Josh Rochelle.
Or Ben Keys, none of them. They're out of there.
Couldn't get your little Josh Rochelle in there or your little Rory Laird in there, I reckon. Anyway.
Squad.
Harris Andrews, Joe Danaher, Lockie Neal, Cam Rayner, Dane Zorko represent the Brisbane Lions. Patrick Cripps, Charlie Kerner, Harry Mackay, Jacob Wiedering represent Carlton. Darcy Cameron, Nick Dacos represent the Pies. Zach Merritt is the sole bomber. Andrew Brayshaw, Jordan Clark, Luke Ryan, Caleb Sarong, Hayden Young, and the rest of the Fremantle squad are also in there. Jeremy Cameron, Max Holmes, Tyson Stankel made it. Told you talk about small forwards.
Yeah.
The Suns had Noah Anderson and Sam Collins. Brett Daniels, Jesse Hogan, Lockie Whitfield is the Giants. Massimo D'Ambrosio made it for the Hawks, along with Dylan Moore and James Sicily. Max Gawn was the sole D. Harry Shears with Tristan Cherry was the North Melbourne representative. Zach Butters, Jason Horn-Francis, Dan Houston represent Power. Jack Sinclair was the sole St Kilda Saint. Unfortunate for Jared. Nick Blakey, Errol Goulden, Isaac Heaney, and Chad Warner were the Swans. Jerry McGovern and Jake Waterman. Somehow West Coast do make it onto this list, but they did well to make it there. Marcus Montebelli, Bailey Dale, and Adam Treloar round out the Dogs, and the Tigers also have Neil next to them, but I do feel sorry for them, unlike their Adelaide Crows.
Yes.
So that's the squad. Obviously, things to play out will be announced on Thursday. And as I said, we will do a team for that going into Wednesday, and we'll record this straight after this because, yes, that's what we like to do.
Yes.
More content.
We love it. Football.
Really Football's great. Doing content with you is great. It's actually kind of stupid sexy.
Got it again. Yay! Let's do it for real
I
this
looked up. Yeah, let's do it for real. I
time.
looked up and I saw your eyes looking at the sky. I was like, wow, you look so beautiful in that light. Oh, better segue. Homer.
Stupid sexy.
AFL players.
This stupid sexy segment is proudly brought to you by Smarties.
And Panadol.
There's two of
Really
us,
good at some point.
many of you, and all of us together are stupid sexy.
Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. Fuck yeah.
Kind of sort of reserved that for me, but now you just do it for everyone. So good to know how I'm based in that situation. Anyways, stupid sexy for, for this week. I love the face. Stupid sexy for this week. I'm going to go first, I
You.
think, because you've had a lot of screen time.
We share the screen the entire time, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, we do. It's so stupid sexy of us. How demure.
Be cutesy.
Very cutesy, very meaningful. Mine goes to, I'm going to just get straight into it because I know we're on time here, but Ollie Wines, 250 games. I feel like definitely has had a career where he should be recognized a lot more. One of the more underrated Brownlow medalists, I think. And people say he's going to be one of the worst Brownlow medalists to go down in history. But you don't play 250 games,
He's not
play
quite
in a lot of.
that.
He's not what? Sorry.
He's not Matt Priddis, so he's at least not on the bottom. Can assure you of that.
No, Matt Priddis robbed Travis Boak, so we won't get into that too much. But no, I think Ollie and his square head and his humongous, humongous arms. Like, talk about Charlie Kerno. There is a photo of Ollie Wines going around with him celebrating, and it's almost like you could squish like coconuts in them, and away they go. Like he would.
He's a big boy. Big
Ever
boy.
seen people squish a watermelon with the legs?
Yeah. He could just do that, but like you just put it in there and just.
Some people do eggs, right? I've tried the egg. I've done it.
Bang.
And you know, we've all done the egg business thinking we're good, but he's just gone full fucking watermelon. Gone.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, I like it. He's a good man. Strong man. Strong man, Ollie Wines.
Big ball.
Stupid sexy
Anyway.
Ollie Wines. I love that one. I am going with again, I'll speed through because I know where our time is flying.
I should have had some wines left.
It's a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it's just crushed grapes in a glass.
Gross grapes. My one that I'm speeding through, obviously, moment again. Now everyone will be talking obviously about the Higgins goal. That's the thing that's getting the number one thing. Of
You
everything.
can't say you're speeding through stupid sexy. Nobody likes quick.
It never happens. That too.
As much as we plan to be quick, it's not planned.
No, it just happens. Yeah, but yeah, everyone will be talking about the Higgins one. Obviously, that's the number one thing. Everyone talks about what Higgins has done and the goal. Seen a little bit about this moment of mine, but it hasn't been anywhere near as publicized as anything else. The Zach Jones smother, with about 4 seconds to go in the game, as the ball enters sort of that half forward, Elijah Hollands picks it up, and I'm not going to lie to you, when Elijah Hollands picked this football up, I shit myself. I was like, this is going to be the way we lose this game. Is they're just going to get this clean inside 50 and fucking Brody Kemp's going to take a mark and sink us. But he didn't, because Zach Jones and his beautiful bald head just came out of nowhere and fucking flew through, smothered the ball, won us the game. Zach Jones, well fucking played. Might have got himself a contract with that one smother. That could have been his last act as a Kilda player, but I don't think it is. Well played, Zach Jones.
The segment for 2025 is going to need a revamp.
Because we're just naming moments now.
No, 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 no. It's the fact that Zach Jones is in Stupid Sexy.
We're picking
It's
moments.
like saying Nick Hind is a good footballer and should have got a contract. Like, what the fuck?
We're picking moments. Stupid sexy moment. We went through our errors. I'm in my moments era again. Can't look at me and tell me that that 1%er didn't get you aroused. Don't lie to me. You just be lying to yourself. I know what got you aroused. I know you like a good smother.
There's
In
a
the
lot of
back
people
50.
lying to themselves tonight
No, no,
because
no.
we're
You, I
not
know
all
you like a
Saints
good
fans,
smother.
man.
You like a good smother. I'm telling you. I know it.
Yes, I like putting both hands on the ball. That ball being Ollie Wines. I don't think I can allow that.
Really, you're not going to allow the game-winning
I'll
one.
allow the moment, but I'm not having Zach Jones in my stupid
Fine,
sexy
a
party.
game-winning smother. We'll classify it as that. We'll classify it as a game-winning
It's like the moment you picked
smother.
Luke
That's
Bruce.
okay. I am not taking any fucking pain from the Luke Bruce pick. That was a good pick. You picked Max Holmes once upon a time, and I we need to revisit that. We've all made mistakes, all right? And that's super sexy.
I have no further comment. Thank you everyone for watching Glass Table episode 59. Have we forgotten anything?
I don't think so. I think we got everything. We're not doing pack v pack. We're doing the Australian video on a different thing. Watch that, everybody. There you go. There's your reminder again. That'll be out tomorrow when this comes out. And yeah,
Zach Jones.
Voldemort himself.
Just I'm about to have it domestic with you. I'm ending this podcast. I'm done. That's it. No more. I just physically cannot comprehend. I just see this next week.